Hello again, Sunday morning, back for another video and more in between spaces. I've been listening to more of the strange little records which appear here and there and finding a few, and I thought I'd talk about some of them. So see what you think. Now I believe, I must have shown this before, but it's an old favourite, this one, Alan Haven's Organ Show. What a great record. It's an easy listening record, but it's so much more than that. And the way it's presented is almost like a demonstration record of his amazing organ skills. And he goes through some nice light classics. The Odd Couple, I think, is a particularly quite funky little number. But there's just lots of great music on this record, and I find it irresistible. And it fits very much into that. This is no soul, funk or trendy hipster record, this one. But it has actually become quite sought after, because I think it's kind of irresistible, this record. So lots of music people, they absolutely love it, and I'm certainly among them. It's great. Now, many years ago, I first came across the music legend Joe Meek, kind of in a weird way. I first heard of him because Lewis Taylor had sampled him on his amazing album from 1995, I think it was. And so the name stuck with me from then. And then several years later, I was working one of my first jobs in the British Library, in the basement of the British Library. Amongst all the books there, I was putting books back on the shelf, and I found this book which was about Joe Meek, and it included a CD which turned out to be a CD of his masterpiece, I Hear a New World. And I borrowed it. I don't think legitimately. I did give it back though, and I burnt the CD, and it was the music of the next 10-15 years of my life. I always had it on my headphones. There's something about the music, and I have now got this vinyl copy. It never really came out, I don't believe, at the time when it was recorded in the early 60s, this album, I Hear a New World. But it's just beautiful. It's crazy, it's mad, but it seems to be very evocative of a time. And I listen to this and it makes me think of the perception I have of Britain in the early 1960s, which wasn't like swinging 60s, Beatles cool. It was very old-fashioned, post-war bomb sites, people quite repressed and miserable. But something really beautiful about this record, and it really makes the hairs of my arms stand up sometimes, in a good way. Yeah, I love it. It's one of those records which lots of people tell me to take off instantly, because it's quite weird and silly in many parts. But when it's beautiful, it's just absolutely lovely. Those Hawaiian guitars that go through it. And obviously Joe Meek, fascinating character. I know there's a movie about it. I've never seen the movie. I should try and look that one up. But yeah, I love this record, and definitely one of those in-between spaces kind of record. Doesn't really fit into any category. Absolutely love that one. something now which probably does fit it quite neatly into a lot of my spaces, but I'm really pleased that I have this. This is the Lijadu Sisters, and this album came onto my radar, as I think for many people, through the algorithm, through YouTube. The song here, Come On Home. Now, you may be familiar with these groups, but maybe not with this cover, because this is a different cover. The cover of the album, the original cover of the album, is very different and perhaps a bit more desirable, and this one might look a bit more standard, but actually I really like this cover as well. I think it's great. They were identical twin sisters from Nigeria, and they did quite a few albums, and this one is absolutely fantastic. And the song Come On Home is a big sort of viral hit. I believe it's just been reissued now by the Numero group as well. This is I think a Canadian issue from 1984, but it's wonderful record. Yeah, it's very much an African record, but I mean, that tune Come On Home is actually just a standard soulful groove as well. The rest of the album is not so much in that with that kind of groove, but it's really really nice stuff. It's a bit more African sounding, but yeah, really lovely album. And for me, I don't have any other albums really like this. So I've got a few African albums like Fela Kuti albums and things like that, but this one sort of stands out on its own. It's got a certain charm and a certain uniqueness, which I really like. See what you think. So something a bit different this time. I've mentioned Lewis Taylor before because when that album came out in 1995, I've got it on the shelf somewhere, I should have got it out. That was where I first heard of Joe Meek. It was also where I first heard of this group, Tangerine Dream, because his sound was for some reason compared to those. So I got this, the soundtrack to the movie The Sorcerer, and I don't play this album very often. And the simple reason I don't play this album very often is it's absolutely terrifying. The whole sound on this album just sends chills down my spine. Halloween's just passed, but yeah, this is a scary, scary record. But every now and again, I like to get it out just to remind myself what it feels like to be alive, you know. And I have to say, the movie it's from, The Sorcerer, is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen that album, that movie, do look it up. William Friedkin. Really a lost classic. Fallen through the cracks, this record. I think I managed to find it downloaded a few years ago, and I'd never seen it before, and what an amazing movie. Really good, and the soundtrack definitely helps give it that atmosphere, because it's all about atmosphere, this movie. And yeah, I don't think I'll put a sample of this one on because it's too terrifying, but yeah, it's just lots of moody synthesizers basically, but yeah, works for me. I'm going to mention also the reason I'm making these videos about weird and wonderful in-between spaces is I've been a bit inspired by Johnny Trunk, who, if you're on Instagram, you should check him out. Every morning he does a short little post where he introduces a song from some weird and wonderful album. Johnny Trunk is like a DJ and well-known music-y person, and famous for his retro, slightly easy listening, library music kind of tastes, and he seems to be an enjoyable chap. And he's shown a lot of the records that I've been talking about, and he's shown lots of other stuff that I don't know, but lots of great stuff, all done with vim and cheer. And yeah, that inspired me to get more of this weird and wonderful stuff. So he was showing the other day some Francois de Roubaix, which I showed in my last video, so Great Minds Think Alike. And that made me think of great artists who had a second lease of life through sampling. And if we're going to talk about artists like that, we've got to mention David Axelrod. And Johnny Trump showed this the other day, so I'm going to show it now. This is the Electric Prunes, produced by David Axelrod. And unusual, this is a Christian record of Release of an Oath, but it's absolutely fantastic because it's got that rich, beefy red wine stew sound that is Axelrod, all those vibrating horns and the strings really rich and dense. Absolutely lovely, this record. Apparently very complex arrangements, so complex in fact that the Electric Prunes don't appear on this record at all. None of them could play the music, it was too difficult for them. So there's all session musicians, David Axelrod's usual gang. So yeah, you wouldn't really distinguish this record from a David Axelrod record in any way whatsoever. But yeah, wonderful record to have. Rather unusual, this is a Greek pressing of that record, but yeah, they all sound good. So I'll give you a bit of that one if you don't know it. Holy are you, holy are you, there is no God but you, there is no God but you, praise be the Lord. And just one more weird and wonderful record to add here. This is a reggae record actually on the mighty D-Roy Records. You'll see this label about in any London record shop in the second-hand section. Yeah, D-Roy was a label, I think from northwest London, and famous for a lot of dub, but also a lot of lovers rock records. And this is Cassandra, one of the queens of lovers rock, one of my favourites, her version of Sitting in the Park. But actually what I'm talking about here is the B-side, which is called the Hyde Park Dub. And it is a dub version of Swan Lake. Just what you thought you didn't need, or what you didn't know that you needed. It's very charming in its own way, partly because it appears to be performed on a styrophone, or stylophone was it called, that little thing with a pen and you had to press to the letters to make the sounds. It's some sort of synthesizer anyway, and I really like it. I don't know, I mean, after about 2 minutes I've probably had enough of it, but yeah, a dub version of Swan Lake kind of fits in with the weird and wonderful theme that I'm going through here. Anyway, in between spaces, we've all got these kind of records, haven't we? Records that don't quite fit neatly into any category, but they have a certain charm and they stay with you here, and you love those kind of things. So I thought I'd do another round of them for you. Anyway, till next time, I'll get back to something a bit more standard, soul, funk, whatever. In the meantime, hope everybody's well. Until the next time, all the best.